getting aware by every passing day that the ongoing pandemic has literally shaken the humanity out of its inertia. The world economic order is in a throes of once in a lifetime churning, a churning that is bound to weed out the old and the systematic. We are witnessing that on a daily basis, literally. The disruptive normal is bringing new generation of entrepreneurs and new thought leaders and visionaries at a much faster pace than what was witnessed earlier. The businesses have been impacted like never before, and we are forced to reinvent and remodel their business dynamics while effectively capitalizing on their existing economic ties. What has strikingly emerged as the reinvention of technology, or to say emergence of customized technology platforms to keep pace with competition and craft a new leaf in every company's growth story. Technology-led and traditional modes of transport will especially play a critical role in deepening India-Uzbekistan connectivity to reassert the country's credentials as part of India's important extended neighborhood. The phrase finding opportunity in adversity is assuming new meaning every passing day. So thank you so much. And this is precisely the reason that we have created today's business forum, just to assess and invite a very key dignitaries to share their thoughts and ideas. What exactly, what future hold for our trade and economic relations, the technical ties in the coming months, how our businesses can benefit or find something new as a route of connecting the existing dots and ensuring that a future holds quite a bit of promise for us to just deepen our trade and economic relations. So for this precise reason, we have today's forum being organized in collaboration with the Uzbek Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you so much for that. So now I welcome Ms. Harjinder Kaur. She's the co-chair India-Uzbekistan Forum for Business and Entrepreneurship, and she's the immediate past president, FICCI Ladies Organizations. Just a quick brief on what how important a business leader she is. She is the managing director of ComVision and is an executive member of FICCI. She has put special emphasis on the financial independence of women by providing job opportunities at her company and has worked with governments to ensure women-friendly policies. She has also provided a platform for the women achievers in the MSME and agriculture sectors. Her work is very well recognized by the central ministers and parliamentarians. She is exceptionally vocal about the concerns connected to girl child, her education, female feticide, women participation in businesses, safety at the workplace, and laws concerning women safety. For her, the development and welfare of women come first, always and every time, and her comfort comes last, always last and every time. So currently with the 150 plus employees and 4 offices across India, she stands tall as the only businesswoman in the specific arena of intelligent traffic transport solutions. Over to you, Ms. Kaur, for your welcome remarks.
Thank you, Rohit. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Rohit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rohit. Mr. Manish Prabhat, Indian Ambassador to Uzbekistan. His Excellency Mr. Dilshad Akhatov, Ambassador of Uzbekistan to India. Mr. Atkam Ikramov, Chairman of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the Republic of Uzbekistan. Officials and business representatives from India and Uzbekistan, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI, India's apex and largest business association, I would like to welcome you all to today's very important business engagement. This is the first program under the aegis of Indo-Uzbek Business Forum. And I would like to start by talking about my experience about Uzbekistan. I must say, Rohit has spoken a lot about my involvement with women also, but at the end of the day and the beginning of life, I am a businesswoman and I do deal with men and women equally. It's an interesting story of my experience with Uzbekistan. Last year, I went to Uzbekistan on an invitation by the then ambassador to India, Mr. Farhod Arzai. And that was the turning point of my relationship with Uzbekistan. After that first trip, I had decided that I'll take our business delegation to Uzbekistan, and then Open Andijan happened. We were a delegation of only 12 businesswomen. It was partly a business trip and partly a leisure trip for us. Apart from exploring the business opportunities, our group of women saw places like Samarkand, Bukhara, Fergana Valley, and of course Andijan. It's a beautiful country, and I'm recommending that one of the most interesting places to visit is Bukhara. I was even promoting this as a Bollywood destination and a wedding destination. The fruits of Uzbekistan are lovable, and I can go there n number of times just to have the fruits. Well, during Invest Andijan, the proposal of this business forum also came up, and we subsequently signed with Professor Ikramul. And then my third trip happened within next 1.5 months, and I've been the witness to Uzbek elections as an election observer. That was about my personal experience with Uzbekistan, but we are all aware that India-Uzbekistan relations have been cultivated through high level of bilateral cooperation as well. India is well known in Uzbekistan for a long time as the country with which Uzbek people relate to. Centuries old cultural, trade, and economic relations, and above all, with bonds of sincere friendship. In these uncertain times, which we call VUCA times as well, industry globally is realigning their business strategies. We are all looking forward for growth regions for the market expansion, and India remains a natural partner to Uzbekistan. Today's session would focus on India-Uzbekistan business, technical, and investment ties. With Uzbekistan, I already have deepening relations. Apart from that, there remains a major focus at my company, Comvision's End, to explore business and to continually explore the unexplored. I firmly believe that our economies will further gain if we are able to address the issue of connectivity between our nations and form an extended neighborhood. It is for this reason India is actively pursuing its strategic neighborhood policy. The initiation of International North-South Transport Corridor is an ongoing effort by the Indian government to connect with our key economic partners in Central Asia, including Uzbekistan. The ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has further underlined the need for having multimodal and transport corridors. Also, it was mentioned by Dr. Jay Shankar, Honorable External Affairs Minister of India, at the launch meeting of FICCI-led India's Central Asia Business Council on February 6, 2020, that the time was now for us to realize increased air connectivity and eventually develop a full-fledged air corridor between India and Central Asian countries. This measure would go a long way in realizing the mutually beneficial goals. With proposed air connectivity, the short distances between the two countries can be covered in less than a few hours compared to time taken by containers currently, which is usually at least 2 months. That's a lot of time. I firmly believe that we must define the next phase of India-Uzbekistan trade and economic relations. The fact that very dynamic, our Mr. Manish Prabhat has just assumed the office of India's ambassador to Uzbekistan, and so has His Excellency Mr. Dilshod Akatov in Delhi, underlines the resolve of our countries to fast track the strengthening relations in the years to come. Today, our businesses are aspiring to raise the bar of expectations and cooperation in various economic sectors. And I would like to encourage Indian industry representatives to optimally utilize the presence of number of Uzbek business representatives at today's deliberation. In fact, FICCI is all set to organize second edition of FICCI's flagship initiative, Namaskar Euro-Asia Expo in February 2021 with a major focus on Uzbekistan. It would be a virtual expo. I invite all the representatives of Indian and Uzbek industry to be part of the proposed initiative. With these words, I once again thank our Uzbek guests for being with us in today's business engagement. Thank you and namaskar.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kaur, for your wonderful words. We have taken note of the specific initiatives and the possible layer of collaboration between our two institutions, that is FICCI and Uzbek Chamber of Commerce, and the possibility of actually undertaking multi-sector engagements between the two countries in the coming months. Though a lot of those activities are going to be online because of the ongoing situation that we are faced with. But yes, that possibility remains. And the second edition that we just talked about, Namaskar Eurasia, the flagship initiative of FICCI, last year it was organized in Bishkek, and we were fortunate to invite participation of the other Central Asian countries. So likewise, this time around also, we are going to reach out to our counterparts in all the Central Asian countries for a larger audience and participation of all the business and the right stakeholders to join in. So with these words, thank you so much once again, ma'am. Now we welcome one of the most dynamic global personalities from Uzbekistan, Mr. Ikramov Atkam Ilkhamovich, the former Deputy Prime Minister and Chairman and Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the Republic of Uzbekistan. Mr. Ikramov began his career as a surgeon in the Republic's Specialized Center for Surgery named after academician V. Vakidov. He later held the position of Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic, from 2012 to 2017. He was awarded the Order of Fido Corona Hospitalari Uchun in 2011. As Minister of Health, he worked closely with the international organizations such as UNDP, the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, UN offices and funds, WHO, UNICEF, and a number of other agencies, and non-government organizations in order to coordinate dialogue activities within the priority programs of the Government of Republic of Uzbekistan. In 2011-12, Mr. Ikramov was a member of WHO Executive Committee as well from the Republic. So with these words, we welcome our dear and very old friend, Mr. Ikramov, to make his address here. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rahid Sharma, for your very excellent moderator of this online business forum. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, Your Excellencies, dear Ms. Harjinder Kaur, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, Mr. Manish Prabhat and Mr. Dilshot Akhatov, dear participant of this business forum. For me, it's a very great pleasure and at the same time the honor to give my welcome and speech from the Chamber of Commerce of Industry of Uzbekistan. And I am thankful especially for our co-partner, Ms. Harjinder Kaur. I remember all our meetings in Uzbekistan, and really in your eyes, you're feeling and impressed from my country. I am very proud that we have very good relations and mutual cooperation with not only with FICI as the largest organization of business society of India, but with all India businessmen and entrepreneurs through as well the FICI ladies organizations which you represent first time in our country. And today I want to start it from the congratulations of Mr. Manish Prabhat to take the position of ambassador of India in Uzbekistan. And Mr. Manish Prabhat, I remember all our meetings in New Delhi, in Gujarat, and I am really very proud to you met with our president, His Excellency Mr. Mirziyoyev, and both countries very close, friendly cooperations and efforts from our leaders, the Prime Minister, His Excellency Mr. Narendra Modi, and our President, His Excellency Mr. Shaukat Mirziyoyev, give today this opportunity to share our vision how in this very changeable global world, in very difficult time and pandemic of COVID, increase our bilateral trade. And I remember in Gujarat, in very short meetings with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he gave to Mr. Manish Prabhat special order to taking care and be bridge between Ministry of Foreign Affairs of India in the economical issues in Uzbekistan. And this, I think, the following of the order from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Congratulations for you, the Chamber of Commerce of Industry of Uzbekistan, all times in your responsibility. I hope and looking forward to see you in my office. At the same time, I thankful to Ambassador Dilshot Akhatov, who is a long-time supporter to our Chamber of Commerce on position of Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Uzbekistan. And now, Dilshot, I see you, and if you check very well, I all time like all your meetings in Facebook with the officials and business societies representative in India. Dilshot, tabrik leyman sizga, rahmat. Your Excellencies, really, if we're looking for last 3 years and 2 visits of our President, His Excellency Mr. Mirziyoyev to India, so many changes, the good changes was done with our cooperation. And I think and tell about the economical cooperation. For example, our Chamber of Commerce and Industry very actively work with the FICI, Confederation of Indian Industry, ASSOCHAM, and our organization And I am proud that 13 years ago, opening in Gujarat, the Institute of Entrepreneurs Development of India. Now in my office, we have the branch of this institute, and I will be very proud to introduce with this branch of institution from India in our office of Chamber of Commerce to our ambassador, Mr. Manish Prabhat. Also, in November 2019, I, with a delegation of our officials and our businessmen and entrepreneurs, visiting firstly the New Delhi and after Gujarat. And during this visit, we met with leading Indian companies. And I want to express my really feeling that, for example, the Wellspun company, they export one company to other countries, the textile productions, $1,300,000,000 per year. And the same company, they work in the steel and metal products. Other $1 billion they export from India on these materials. I see in the Adani Solar Group, and I see that in 1 day they produce daily 2,600 solar panels per day. I met with His Excellency the Chief Minister of Gujarat, Mr. Rupani, the Amul company, which is the leader of the White Revolution of India. And I'm impressed that 3 million families, they working in cooperation on these Amul milk factories. And it is really very impressive. And we looking in Uzbekistan, the India, as a main and strategic partner, including the economical relation. For example, now in Uzbekistan, to 300 joint stock companies with the India capital, they working, but in last 3 years, 150 of them created. We see for the pharmaceutical, our cooperations, and Ms. Kaur mentioned about the Andijan Forum, and now the company of Cadila Group on my friend, the Rajiv Modi, they invest up to $50 million for pharmaceutical sector. It is only one company. And I see many of pharmaceutical companies which is interested in Uzbekistan sector of economy. We have very good relations on the agriculture, the agro clusters. We should work on the textile and other issues. And today the platform, it is to organizing the B2B meeting in the Zoom. I think so, more than 30 our participants, totally approximately 60 participants, but in YouTube, we organize it due to the FICI staffs. We organizing the online participating on this business online forum. And I wish for all our participants the successful 2021. We now organizing and create the base for 2021. And I'm thankful for Ms. Sangeeta Reddy to organizing the first Central Asia India Forum in New Delhi. And I remember that Mr. Manish Prabhat in Samarkand last year in February, the initiative from the India to create this Central Asia India Business Forum was started in Samarkand city. All times I ensure all of yours that our Chamber of Commerce and Industry open to support, to save your business, to be very good bridge between India and Uzbekistan. Thank you for your attention, and I will continue to participate. This is a great honor for me to see all of yours. Thank you.
Mr. Ikramov, thank you so much for your very encouraging and very warm words. In fact, you are the bridge between India and Uzbekistan when it comes to business and the new possibilities, and eventually assessing the possibilities where we can actually both the businesses from both the countries can collaborate. So wonderful intervention. Thank you so much for your wonderful words and your intervention. So thank you so much once again, sir. Today we are fortunate to have Mr. Manish Prabhat, the Ambassador of India to Uzbekistan, who has just joined his office in Tashkent last month. Prior to this new assignment, Mr. Prabhat headed the Eurasia Division, Ministry of External Affairs, New Delhi. He has been always the most instrumental person in making the India-Central Asia relations a success. So he is a career diplomat who has served in the Ministry of External Affairs, New Delhi, and in India's mission abroad in Moscow, Yerevan, Washington, D.C., Milan, and Paris. So with these words, we formally request and invite Ambassador Prabhat to share his perspective on Uzbekistan's immense possibilities where India and the Uzbekistan businesses can collaborate in the coming years. Over to you, sir. Ambassador Prabhat, you are muted.
Says he'll come later. Yeah.
Yes,
Rohit.
yes, Ambassador Prabhat, we will just invite you in a few minutes' time. Then we first invite His Excellency Mr. Dilshod Akhtav to share his perspective. He is an extraordinary diplomat who has become a big hit on the social media. Ambassador Akhtav has been appointed the new ambassador of Uzbekistan to India a few months back only. Prior to this appointment, Ambassador Akhtav served as the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs since May 2018. In 2010 to 13, he served as Ambassador of Uzbekistan to Germany. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much. Ambassador Akhtav, you are muted. Yes, that's fine now.
It's okay?
Yes, Jesus.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Excellency, dear Mr. Ikramov, Excellency, my dear colleague, Ambassador Prabhat, dear Dr. Zweika, dear Ms. Kaur, distinguished speakers, honorable guests. It's a great pleasure for me to congratulate all of the participants of online Uzbekistan-India Business Forum. I'm very thankful to leadership, personally to Excellency Mr. Ikramov, the President of Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Uzbekistan, and the leadership of FICI, taking this initiative of organizing this platform, which will definitely contribute to the further development and mutually beneficial cooperation between our countries. Taking this opportunity, I would like also join to congratulations to my dear friend, Indian Ambassador Mr. Prabhat, on the occasion of beginning his responsible tenure in Tashkent. We wish him all the best in his new post as an ambassador. Dear friends, as you know, India traditionally occupies a special place in our country's foreign policy. The Uzbek-Indian strategic partnership is seeing its dynamic and firm rise. This is testified by high intensity of bilateral official contacts, as my colleague said already, including the state visit of the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, His Excellency Mr. Mirziyoyev, to India in October 2018, and his participation at the vibrant Gujarat International Conference, Investment Conference in January 2019. High-level discussions during those visits led to signing of several agreements spanning the fields of science and technology, health, agriculture, pharmaceuticals, military education, etc. I'm happy to note that we have very active mutual exchange between Uzbekistan and India at all levels, in which the new formats and mechanisms of cooperation ties are put in place. We have been successfully developing cooperation between foreign policy institutions of our countries, as well as a dialogue on international problems, issues, including the one of the framework of the United Nations and Shanghai Cooperation Organizations. In terms of recent developments in economic cooperation, I would like to note also the visit of the Chief Minister of Gujarat, Mr. Rupani, leading a large business delegation to Uzbekistan in October 2019, and the return visit by a large delegation of Uzbekistan, headed by His Excellency Mr. Ikramov to India in November 2019. These visits have led to signing of 23 B2B and B2G MOUs for cooperation between our countries in a range of sectors, including, for example, agriculture and agro processing, textiles, automotive sector, pharmaceuticals and healthcare, IT industry, of course, innovation and education, energy, mining and jewelry sectors. Establishment of the ministerial dialogue, India, Central Asia, with participation of Afghanistan, the first session of which took place in January 2019 in Samarkand, became a notable event, of course. In fact, a new page was opened up in the relations of India with the states of our region. We are preparing now a second session of this dialogue on 28th of October, hosted by Indian side. Under this dialogue, as Ms. Kaur informed, in February of this year, India hosted first session of India Central Asia Business Council, which was organized by FICCI. Thank you very much. Uzbek delegation headed by His Excellency Mr. Ikramov attended this fruitful and very, very important session in Delhi. It should be noted that the economic and trade potential of our countries is not fully used. Both sides need to intensify efforts to develop concrete measures to increase the volume of mutual trade through a qualitative improvement of the structure of bilateral trade, harmonization and optimization of import and export procedures. In this regard, a joint feasibility study for a preferential trade agreement between our countries will seriously contribute to this direction, I think so. I would like to note that both Uzbek and Indian sides have been actively looking at a wide range variety of products for facilitating agriculture exports, which is very important in subsequent increasing of mutual trade volumes as well as. We are interested in maximum carrying out the available enormous potential of partnership between Uzbekistan and India. Particularly, Uzbekistan may turn into an important direction for Indian capital exports to mutual beneficial projects in such spheres as energy, medical and pharmaceutical, textile and leather industry, information and communication technologies, tourist infrastructure, construction, agriculture. Uzbekistan is highly interested in the successful implementation of joint cooperation projects in the fields of pharmaceuticals, healthcare, education, as well as social and infrastructural development, etc. I'm sure that signing of bilateral investment treaty between our countries will be a game changer in exploring untapped potential in this area. We are interested in the implementation of joint projects as well as in the framework of the Digital Uzbekistan 2030 program, including IT parks in our country. In particular, practical interest for us is attracting Indian advanced technologies of digitalization to the electronic outsourcing services in such sectors as in our country as labor and employment, local self-government, pharmacy, electricity, manufacturing of cereal products, and so on. Today we will listen also the representatives of private sectors of Uzbekistan and India, and I'm sure that we will receive from them exact and detailed proposals for further development of trade and investment relations. Dear participants, ensuring the most favorable conditions for the transit of goods, creating effective transport routes and transit logistics infrastructure is also very important for our cooperation. Today, Central Asia states face an important strategic task. This is to ensure deep integration of our region into the global economic transport and transit corridors. In this regard, on 23rd September of this year, President of Uzbekistan, His Excellency Mr. Shavkat Mirziyoyev, in his address to the fifth session of the General Assembly of United Nations, proposed to establish a regional center for the development of transport and communications under the auspices of the United Nations. I'm confident that the implementation of this initiative is also in full accord with the interests of India as well. It becomes especially significant to put in place one transport transit system which would connect India with the countries of Central Asia through Afghanistan. We highly assess India's contribution to development of infrastructure of Chabahar seaport in Iran and Iran's railroads for transit of cargo in trading with Afghanistan and countries of Central Asia, and India is joining the Ashgabat. India is joining in Ashgabat agreement also. Implementation of these plans will render new impetus to extending broad trans-regional links, of course, in the entire Eurasian space. Dear friends, I am confident that organization of such events will give new ideas and concepts for further development of mutually beneficial cooperation between our countries, as well as to find some very important mechanism for the joint survival of mankind in the face of global problems. I would like to once again thank Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Uzbekistan, personally to His Excellency Mr. Ikramov and FICCI and our Indian friends for excellent organization of this platform. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you so much. We have taken a note of your number of observations. I think you've just nailed absolutely right. Since the states are going to be the next frontier for increasing and deepening trade, economic, and investment relations between India and Uzbekistan, there's a lot of effort which is going from the Indian states for reaching out to important key economic partners, including Uzbekistan, and FICCI remains committed to that. The second part is INSTC. Again, we are working in close coordination with Ministry of External Affairs and Department of Commerce for activating and eventually seeing it, its logical conclusion is met there in terms of activation of INSTC. So these are 2-3 points that we assure you as part of FICCI that we shall continue our efforts to promote it and eventually lead it to successful fruition. So thank you so much, sir. And we have the fortune of Ambassador Prabhat now. So for his address for this forum, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rohitji. Can you hear me now?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, FICCI, for organizing this. Ms. Kaur, very nice to see you. Thank you, Ms. Kaur, that you have been you've taken this time to organize the second India-Uzbekistan Business Forum. Thank you, Mr. Ikramov. Very happy to see him and look forward to connect to him. Personally, when time would permit. I've just arrived in Uzbekistan. My colleague Ambassador Khatov, who is very active in Delhi, and my colleague Mr. Adarsh Swaika, Joint Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs, who is directly dealing with the affairs relating to Eurasia and Uzbekistan. I'm very happy to see all colleagues who are here. They're all great upholders of relationship between India and Uzbekistan. I very distinctly remember the first India-Uzbekistan forum, which was organized by FICCI in Gandhinagar in January 2019. I had the fortune of participation in that forum. And today, the second forum, I'm again present here. It is a very good coincidence that I got this opportunity to work on strengthening India-Uzbekistan relationship. When the first forum was organized, President Mirziyoyev was visiting Gandhinagar for the Vibrant Gujarat Summit. And I must say that his two visits to India in quick succession in October 2018 and then January 2019, brought into, led to many agreements being signed between India and Uzbekistan, on which the two countries are actually now working, for implementation. In fact, there's a lot of political goodwill, between the two countries at the highest level. And there is a clear signal from the leadership that we have to take the strategic partnership between India and Uzbekistan to new heights. And, that would translate to very close cooperation in all the areas, including trade, economy, and investment, with which this business forum is, immediately concerned with. There are many businessmen and entrepreneurs in India, investors in India, who are looking forward to the Uzbek market and what the market has to offer. Similarly, a lot of Uzbek traders would like to trade with India, and as FICCI and as governments, basically, it is our task to make it easier. Of course, my colleagues, especially the Joint Secretary, etc., they would put it clearly that how we are targeting to reach the bilateral trade turnover of $1 billion. 1 billion, which has been mandated by Prime Minister and President Mirziyoyev. How we are working for bilateral investment treaty, a possible preferential trading arrangement, etc. A lot of government delegations have been exchanged. There is a joint intergovernmental commission which works on these matters to look into all aspects. There is also a national coordination committee of very senior members on both sides, which has especially been formed to take stock of how the joint implementation of projects are proceeding. There is Government of India has also brought into the picture the possibility of lines of credit from India to Uzbekistan, under which many programs and projects can be undertaken, and all these would lead to greater cooperation and more investment in these areas. In fact, connectivity is one issue, because that is the natural question that when the traders are trading, when investors are coming, how do you reach from India to Uzbekistan and vice versa? And at this moment, of course, there is the possibility of the aviation route only, and that has also been a bit disturbed due to COVID conditions. In future, we are working for the international North corridor, and hopefully Uzbekistan can become a member. We hope that Uzbekistan would take such a steps to become the member of INSTC. And of course, we also worked on, or at least with FICCI, we started the discussion of one air corridor between India and Central Asia, and Uzbekistan is a good candidate, I would say, for a direct air link, for a trade corridor between India and Central Asia. And some discussions have taken place, in this regard also, that how we can vitalize and reinvigorate some aviation links between India and Uzbekistan. So one point to draw inference from all this is that apart from Uzbek Airways, which is already flying to India, I would urge that some Indian aviation lines should also target to fly to Uzbekistan. Indian freight forwarders and especially people who are in transport and logistics should try to come together and see that whether we can establish some profitable trade route with Uzbekistan. There's a lot of possibility of trade in perishable goods, because agriculture is one focus item of both governments. In fact, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has also clearly given directions that we should take such steps which directly benefits the farmers of India. And we have many commodities and agricultural products like rice, sugar, and many other items, oil, cooking oil, etc., which we can export to Uzbekistan. Similarly, Uzbek traders are also keen to export their fruits and vegetables to India. And in fact, agriculture ministries from both sides are working on this thing. In fact, the traders and business people, if they have suggestions that some particular commodity of agricultural exports should be opened, for export and import between India and Uzbekistan, I would welcome their suggestions, so that we can request the both two governments to look into these kinds of new possibilities. Investment is of course a priority area, and there was just mentioned about the big delegation which was led by Chief Minister of Gujarat when he came to Uzbekistan last October, and a 50-member business delegation came. In fact, that led to visualization of about 45 projects, in various fields. And the companies from Gujarat were very happy to see possibilities of investment here. And in fact, Uzbekistan is providing a lot of opportunities for greenfield investment and brownfield investment. There are taxation measures which can benefit Indian industry. And I would urge that different regions of Uzbekistan provide distinct possibilities to come and look into the possibilities here. I would also say that regardless of the fact that we have set a trade target of $1 billion between two countries bilaterally annually, we have reached the figure of 335 or $350 million so far, which is like 1/3 of what we are looking at. So while governmental measures would go on to create some kind of business environment that these trade figures really go up, the point is that we should not lose opportunities of existing trade basket and how we actually take them forward. In fact, when I was presenting my credentials to President of Uzbekistan, he said that despite COVID conditions, the trade has continued to rise. So, in fact, we should all look at the trade figures which are going to be announced soon, and what kind of progress is being made in the bilateral trade figure. In fact, last year in 2019, when we have reached the figure of $350 million of trade, that itself led to a rise of 24% of bilateral trade. So there is a lot of possibility, untapped potential, which both sides have to look into it. In fact, what I realized that during the COVID conditions, like Indian pharmaceutical sector is particularly strong, and how India established itself as the pharmacy of the world, exporting many pharmaceutical products. So what I, coming here, I realized that due to the COVID situations, and we have good bilateral cooperation with Uzbekistan during COVID times also. In fact, India rushed a consignment of hydroxychloroquine tablets when it was in the first phase, when it was immediately required. And after that, Uzbekistan has taken steps to import a lot of pharma products from India, because there is need for this in Uzbekistan. And in July of this year, the Uzbek government took steps to simplify its import procedures for medical equipment and pharma products and medicines. Was drawn up by the government of Uzbekistan, and simplified procedures were adopted. So I hope that the Indian industry, the pharma exporters, were looking at these kinds of opportunities. In fact, in a further development, 28 other medicines were added into that list. In fact, in the list, I find even one traditional Chinese medicine, patented. So we have to, in India, especially for the Indian exporters, and I'm not talking only of pharmaceuticals, our exporters have to be very watchful of these kinds of developments. And whenever the opportunities are there, they should immediately try to, get into the act, they get their act together and try to take advantage of these kinds of opportunities. So opportunities are there at this moment, because India is a country which falls in the red zone according to Uzbek regulations, and if you come on a business visit, though theoretically you can come on a visit, but you would be applied a 14-day mandatory quarantine. So probably, for physical visits, probably this is not the best of the times. But online, it is good that initiatives like you are connecting all of us online. And you mentioned that how Namaskar Eurasia would also happen in February 2021. We would work from to request for a good participation of Uzbek delegation also into that in the virtual mode. But I think there's a lot to connect together even virtually, and while trade and logistical part has not been affected, goods are moving through transit, container, etc., even through airlines. So that's not a problem. So I would urge traders, exporters from both sides to be in contact with each other. And let me assure you from on the part of the Embassy of India in Tashkent, if you have any queries, please write to us and we will get back to you specifically on this. So thank you very much, Vicky, and thank you for Mr. Ikramov's participation in this important forum. And I hope to continue to be in touch with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Ambassador Prabhat, for very precise intervention. Actually, at Vicky, we are also seeing that a lot of Indian companies are collaborating to reach out to the third countries. Like green movement being is something which is very specific to Uzbekistan. The quality and the quantity can be provided by Uzbek traders and the cultivators. So a lot of Indian companies are reaching out to Uzbek companies for exporting them to another country. So this is a new trend. You talk about sulfur, you talk about copper. A lot of these possibilities are emerging, and a lot of Indian companies are actually reaching out. They are finding it the right time for doing this and initiating initial business dialogue with the Uzbek counterparts. I think it's a very good beginning for us also, and this online platform has allowed us placing our focus and intent in reaching out to as many companies as possible. And as rightly mentioned, we will be seeking your support, your guidance in making Namaskar Eurasia edition with a specific focus on Uzbekistan a grand success. So and we look forward to your continued support and guidance on this. Now we have the pleasure and honor of inviting Dr. Adarsh Suaika, the Joint Secretary, Eurasia Division, Ministry of External Affairs. Dr. Suaika is a seasoned diplomat and has been at the forefront for conceptualizing and promoting a number of Government of India's initiatives. His overseas postings included assignments in Moscow, Sofia, and China. He represented India in various UN multilateral conferences, negotiations, and was part of India's negotiation team for the post-2015 Development Agenda, SDG, and the Paris Climate Change Agreements. So he has served as Director Acting Head in Indian Ocean Region Division that handles bilateral relations with Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles, Sri Lanka, and Mauritius. He assumed the office as Joint Secretary CPB, supervising consular and passport matters in MEA in October 2019, and he recently assumed the office of Joint Secretary Eurasia Division in MEA. With these words, we once again welcome Dr. Suaika and would request to deliver his special remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shri Sharma, and good afternoon to you all. Ms. Harjinder Kaur, Mr. Ikramov, Chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, our Ambassador of Uzbekistan in India, Mr. Akatov, our Ambassador in Tashkent, Mr. Manish Prabhat, who has recently joined there, representatives of industry on both sides, ladies and gentlemen. I think after both the ambassadors have spoken and both the Chambers of Commerce bosses have spoken, there is little for me to add, but I will try my bit. Basically, first of all, let me thank FICCI and the Uzbek Chamber of Commerce for organizing this business forum to take stock of where we are in this economic and commercial partnership and where we want to go. And especially thank Mr. Sharma for inviting me to speak at the forum. Much has already been said, as I just mentioned, by the earlier distinguished speakers on how we can further strengthen as well as expand our economic and commercial partnership. For me, firstly, we cannot see the economic partnership in isolation. It has to be seen from the prism of our overall bilateral relationship. And when we speak of our relationship with Uzbekistan, we need to be cognizant of our relations, of the fact that Uzbekistan is a key strategic partner in the region. We have historical and cultural ties dating back to ancient times. Our two countries have also the common priority of diversifying and deepening our bilateral engagements. We share Uzbekistan's pursuit of making Central Asia a region of sustainable peace, stability, and prosperity. Uh, Friends, a relationship is best seen from the perspective of active engagement between both the sides, in particular from the high-level exchanges and visits. As pointed out by the earlier ambassadors, frequent visits at the highest level between both sides indicate the importance we attach to the relationship. India and Uzbekistan have also recently set up the national coordination committees at the ministerial level to oversee the implementation of mutually agreed projects and initiatives. As mentioned earlier, a new initiative that has been taken was the launch of the Central Asia Dialogue last year. And we are looking at the next Central Asia Dialogue next week. This dialogue is important from the point of view of looking at India-Central Asia relations from a regional perspective. And one of the important deliverables of this Central Asia Dialogue last year was the establishment of the India Central Asia Business Council, comprising of the apex chambers of all the 5 Central Asian countries and FICCI on our side. And this has brought together the business councils to look forward to new areas of engagement with special focus on energy, pharmaceuticals, automotive industry, agro-processing, education, and many other sectors. And we are sure that this forum will also provide new ideas, not only for bringing in new ideas for the overall relationship between India and Central Asia, but between India and Uzbekistan also. Another important facet, which was also mentioned by Ambassador Prabhat, was the new facet of a relationship in terms of engagement between states. And I refer to the cooperation between Uzbekistan, the Andijan region, and the Gujarat state of India, pursuant to the visits of Uzbek President, the visit of Chief Minister of Gujarat, and then the visit of Chairman of Uzbek Chamber of Commerce to India. More than 45 agreements have been signed. The agreements would total up to $1 billion of investments and projects in various sectors of agriculture, chemicals and petrochemicals, pharma, etc. So there has been a lot going on between these two states, and if you see, within a very short period of time, between 2 to 3 years, based on these visits. Friends, you all will agree that India-Uzbekistan bilateral trade is about 350 million is far below the potential, despite being such a close relationship. And therefore, we need to find ways to augment the bilateral trade and investments, for which such forums like today are useful to come up with new ideas and discuss possible solutions to impediments wherever they are. This is also not to say that nothing is happening on the ground, and some of the very important initiatives and projects are ongoing, have been done in the past. One, for example, is the setting up the pharmaceutical plant with an investment of $50 million in Uzbekistan. The groundbreaking was done during the visit of CM of Gujarat to Uzbekistan, her visit to Uzbekistan. In October 2019, I think MIT University and Sharda University have opened campuses in Tashkent and Andijan, respectively. On the agreement side, the Ambassador of Uzbekistan mentioned about the joint feasibility study for a preferential trade agreement and negotiations for the bilateral investment treaty. Both are progressing well, and we hope that we will be able to conclude these agreements soon. And such agreements will also be a game changer in exploring the untapped potential of our bilateral investment and trade. We are also looking at implementation of a number of projects from the Indian line of credit in priority development sectors of Uzbekistan. This will also give an opportunity to Indian companies to showcase their work and area of expertise along with the Uzbek companies. Another important project which has been done in the recent past is the Entrepreneurial Development Center, EDC, at Tashkent, which has been developed by Government of India and is expected to become functional soon with the joining of the advisor from India. And we expect the center to develop into an incubator of entrepreneurship and skill upgradation for the interested Uzbek entrepreneurs and students. So all in all, I think while the trade relationship needs much more focus and avenues of cooperation, we also need to take along the current ongoing projects. Their fruition will also encourage a lot of people in these sectors. So I once again hope that the discussions today will give us fresh ideas on both sides for new opportunities. And from the government side, we remain committed to a greater economic partnership that truly reflects our close partnership in other spheres. I thank you.
Dr. Swaiga, so very much for joining us today and for presenting your thoughts and ideas on the to just deepen our trade, economic, investment relations with Uzbekistan. Yes, I always quote one that they were saying from Stone. He said, "There is great disorder under the heavens. The situation is excellent." So likewise, I think the situation is actually excellent today for us to just understand and assess new possibilities, what has not been done in the past when the situation was normal. Abnormal situations gave rise to very exceptional solutions. So this is the time for us to just understand what really can be cultivated, what really can be nurtured for us to collectively achieve that $1 billion trade target. Swaiga for joining us. We would now request Mr. Saurabh S. Dhanokar. He is a non-executive, non-independent director of Finoless Industries. Finoless Industries has supported us in organizing today's engagement also. So we thank Mr. Dhanokar for joining us today. Once he just presented his views, we will run a quick video of what is being done by the organization. So over to you, Mr. Dhanokar.
Thank you, Sharmaji. Honorable Ambassador, Mr. Manish Prabhat, His Excellency, Mr. Dilshad Okatau, Ms. Harjinder Kaur, Mr. Ikramov, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to thank Indo-Uzbekistan Business Forum for giving us this opportunity to introduce Phenolics pipes to this august audience. This is a wonderful initiative started by FICCI and Chamber of Commerce of Uzbekistan, and I'm sure it will lead to a lot of business between the two countries. Phenolics Pipes is India's largest manufacturer of PVC pipes and the second largest manufacturer of PVC resin. We started our operations way back in 1981, and today we have 3 plants in India where we produce almost 1,000 metric tons of pipes every day, and we sell them through our 18,000 plus retail outlets all over India. We make pipes for agriculture, construction, plumbing, sanitation, bore wells, for every practical possible application. I believe India and Uzbekistan have a lot of things in common. One of them being that a large part of the population depends on agriculture. In India, we at Phenolics have always believed that a pipeline is like a lifeline for a farmer. If a pipeline breaks, then he's in a serious trouble. So we consider that it is our primary duty, foremost duty, to see that we give consistently good quality products at a reasonable price, not only to the farmers, but to all our customers. And this high focus on quality runs through our blood. Everything that we do, we do with a very high focus on quality. And I believe that that has sustained our #1 position in the country for almost 40 years now. And I think with Uzbekistan growing rapidly, they also have similar demand. They will also have similar growth opportunities. But Phenolics is not only about business. When I say quality, we also do a lot of social work through our CSR partner, Mukul Madhav Foundation. We do projects in water, sanitation, healthcare, education, women empowerment, and so many other areas. But instead of talking about our work, I would request the organizers to play a small clip about what we do through Mukul Madhav Foundation. So thank you very much for hearing me out, and all the best for this forum.
And think. Think about how you could make this world a happier place. Now open your eyes. What did you see? Was it something that filled you with hope? Something you care about? Did it bring a smile to your face? Did it bring back a fond memory? Or did it show you a better tomorrow? Was it you alone? Or were there people? People who remind you every day that there's so much more to you than just you. Because people need people. People like you. People like all of us. This belief in people and in their power to change the world we live in is the very foundation of what we stand for. Mukul Madhav Foundation. A foundation that has been working towards shaping a better world by spreading hope and happiness. Having established ourselves in the key areas of development over the last 2 decades, we strive to change the landscape of social change. Kids aren't kids if they can't go to school. That's why we ventured into the sphere of education by supporting students for primary, secondary, and higher education across various fields, making sure that classrooms are the only place where young kids work hard. With the goal of making quality education accessible to the remotest areas, we established our dream project, Mukul Madhav Vidyalaya, in a small village called Golap in Ratnagiri district. Equipped with state-of-the-art infrastructure and offering a host of extracurricular activities, the school has been transforming the lives of underprivileged students. Nurturing the curiosity of these young learners, we made sure if kids couldn't get to the classrooms, we could bring the classrooms to them with a one-of-a-kind project, Science on Wheels. Continuing this endeavor to support young dreams, we offered educational programs, infrastructural support, midday meals, and teacher trainings across schools, fulfilling the dream of our late founder, Shri Prahlad P. Chhabria. Today, we make an effort to guide the people of tomorrow. And while we worked towards building this holistic learning process, we also made sure that these kids don't miss school. By working towards basic needs of health and hygiene, by conducting regular health checkup camps at low-income schools, and not just for the kids. We have also been conducting health checkups for geriatrics, along with conducting free diabetic checkup camps and camps for early detection of cancer. With the aim of making quality healthcare accessible to all, we provide medical care to patients in need and develop key infrastructural facilities at various medical centers, along with strengthening the pillars of healthcare by training the healthcare workers. Our long-standing partnership with Sassoon General Hospital bore fruit when we achieved a major milestone in 2017 by establishing a state-of-the-art 59-bedded NICU for infants. We launched Mission Cerebral Palsy in 2015 to make a difference in the lives of children affected with the condition. With more and more collaborative endeavors over the years, we provided physical and emotional support to these young kids. We made an effort to make sure that the journey to realizing their dreams can be effortless. And we are so proud of these young stars who, with their determination and relentless efforts, have defied all odds. The smiles, the dreams, the unshakable will. These small and big wins are what makes us approach each day with a desire stronger than ever to work towards spreading hope and happiness. With this, we extended our roots to create ripples of positive change by doing our bit to help save the environment. Making clean water accessible to all, we initiated various water conservation projects across Maharashtra. We've been providing regular support to clean and desilt reservoirs by increasing the water capacity, along with providing villages with water storage tanks and installing rainwater harvesting systems across villages and institutions. We also initiated various other projects like beach cleanup drives and tree plantations in the effort to provide a greener future for generations to come. With a larger aim to make India open defecation free, we provide regular support to individual households by constructing individual toilets equipped with solar lights in the tribal village of Palghar. In this endeavor, we have also constructed toilet blocks at various Zilla Parishad and low-income schools. Fueled by the passion to make a difference in our society, we have been working continuously towards uplifting the underprivileged, synergizing our efforts with the efforts of multiple other institutions that work towards this cause, with the promise that 1 + 1 will always be greater than 2. In a society deemed to be progressive, we promoted the need for it to also be inclusive. By donating helmets to police officers, we took small steps towards a better tomorrow. We helped bring a technological revolution by inaugurating computer centers at various villages and institutions. With initiatives throughout the year, we continue to advance in key areas of skill development. Challenging the mindset of yesterday, we strive to empower the women of today with initiatives that create employment opportunities and help shape the future of the leaders of tomorrow, the leaders of an equal tomorrow. With every book held, every sapling planted, every life saved, and every steady step, we move towards a better tomorrow. A tomorrow people we care about. And we would like to thank like-minded individuals and institutions for making this possible and always supporting us. So the next time you close your eyes and think about how you can wield this power to enable change and make the world a happier place, Think about Mukul Madhav Foundation, because we believe in the power of people. People who uplift other people. After all, people need people. People like you. People like all of us.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Dhanurkar. It was a fantastic video. It says it all, all those sectors, all the possibilities, especially when we talk about what Indian companies can do in Uzbekistan. This is something which is very critical and literally nourishes the roots of our, the larger P2P or B2B, you name it all. But this is a very foundation that we can actually build upon. So thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for sharing this wonderful video with us. Thank you so much, sir. So now we have the pleasure of requesting Mr. Mukhtar Umarov, the chairman of the Association of Exporters of Uzbekistan, to share his experience with us. Over to you, Mr. Umarov.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, Mr. Dilshad Akhatov and Mr. Manish Brabhat, Mr. Athami Gramov, and Ms. Najinder Kaur. And let me introduce briefly about our association. Our association is Exporters of Uzbekistan, and it's established 1 year ago. Now we have more than 200 members of our association, and local 200 members, and we have more than 50 foreign members of our association. And we have in 16 countries, we have our representative offices, and we have on that countries, we have our business ambassadors. So we have in 3 countries our own trading houses. It's in Afghanistan, it's in Dubai, and it's New York City, United States. And we now are focusing on pandemic situation. We are focusing to e-commerce. So we are working very hardly on that section. And right now we have an agreement with the Chinese B2B platform of Alibaba, and we have agreement with them about representative partnership between Alibaba and our association. And we are now discussing about our partnership with the Indian B2B platform with India-Uzbekistan and United States B2B platform Amazon.com. So we are discussing with them, and we have in our under our association we have a business support center, which is supporting to foreign and local business people. So we are helping them for all their process of business in Uzbekistan, such as law supports, finance supports, and the partnership with the government. All these supports we can support to business people. And we have under our association research and development center, which is doing research on financing, marketing, and other issues. We're doing research and development. For example, we have more than 20 people working on that section. And we have right now agreement with the Indian Importers Chambers of Commerce and Industry. We want to do the first online exhibition in 26th and 27th of October, online exhibition between Indian business people and Uzbekistan business people, and we'll invite all participants to this event. And it's a very pleasure to inform about. We want to open our trade house in India too, because we see a lot of opportunities in India. So we have already contracts with Indian companies, and we wish there will be more year by year. We will develop partnership between India and Uzbekistan. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amarov, for your intervention. Now we welcome Mr. Avinash Upadhyay, the Director of Representation in Moscow and Head International Business Development for Russia, CIS, and from Larsen & Toubro. Mr. Upadhyay has been working in Russia and CIS region since 2010, and currently he heads business development there. Over to you, Mr. Upadhyay.
Thank you very much, Rohit. Can I just share my presentation? Can you see the presentation? Yes, Rohit. Is the presentation seen? Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Avinashji. Seen.
Thank you so
Can you
much.
speak? It's okay?
Добрый день, уважаемые гости. Сегодня на вебинаре присутствуют наши друзья из Узбекистана и партнеры из Индии. Я рад рассказать о нашей компании Larsen & Toubro.
Yeah, it's okay. Can he speak in Uzbek and I will translate?
Нет, я говорю на русском языке.
Вы понимаете русский, да?
Я говорю по-русски, я общаюсь, да.
Да, тогда лучше, да. Вы можете говорить на русском. Ага. Узбекский говорим?
Только презентация не
на русский или
продолжает.
на английский?
Не надо, это только презентация не продолжает, только сейчас я жду.
Нет, проблема в том, что он не знает русский язык, а только на узбекском.
О, понятно. Давайте переводите.
Да.
Assalomu alaykum.
Здравствуйте.
Hozir biz uyushmamiz rahbari Muxtar aka Umarovga fikrlarini bildirdi.
Muxtar aka Umarov said some good things.
Eksportyorlar O'zbekistonlik eksportyorlar uyushmasi mana qariyb 1 yildan beri faoliyat ko'rsatib kelyapti. 4000 eksportyorlarning, tadbirkorlarni o'z qaramog'iga olgan. Biz juda ham bundan minnatdormiz.
This association who lead of this association Muxtar aka, and there are about 400 тысяч человек.
Okay, I'll just explain.
Да.
Я говорю.
60 davlatlarda biznes elchilarini ochgan hozirgi kunlarda.
Вы знаете, что где-то 60 странах у него есть контракты или экспортеры, да.
Elchixonalarni ochgan. Hop, endigi navbatdagi ishimiz qishloq xo'jaligi mahsulotlarini asosan biz Samarqand viloyatidamiz.
Он хочет сказать, что он из Самарканда, из Самаркандского региона, и он работает насчет сельскохозяйства, сухофрукты, да?
Qishloq xo'jaligi mahsulotlarining qariyb 70 dan ziyod turi bilan shug'ullanamiz.
He works, yeah, он работает где-то у него есть где-то 70 видов сухих фруктов.
Ularni qayta ishlaydigan, qadoqlaydigan, vakuum holatiga olib keladigan, volsovka qilayotgan sanoatlarga egamiz.
Он может
Avinash, sorry to interject. Avinash, since it is going to take quite a bit of time, I would request that, once we're just done with this, you can quickly just talk, we'll just leave the floor open for you to have a clear-cut discussion with the Uzbeki companies. That'll be much better because,
no, actually, they are not speaking. They are presenting their company. They're not talking about me.
So he sent to his company his press release, and you can read it.
That is not required. I'll just speak. I think he's reading something different.
Yes, please, we will request everybody to just mute. Let Avinash speak because this, we need not have this kind of confusion happening here, please. So, Avinash, please go ahead.
Because they're talking about something like dry fruits and all that they're talking about.
Yeah, please, we will request you to just hold on. We will leave the platform open for you to have a discussion with the companies here, please.
Yeah. So, can I proceed now with the presentation? Yeah, should I stop?
Rohit Sharma. Mr. Rohit Sharma, I am sorry.
Yes,
are you hearing me?
Please.
Yes,
I can. Yes, please.
Let me continue very briefly 1 minute on Uzbek language because today I apologize and maybe not congratulate all of my colleagues, partners from Uzbek side with this very important day. Today it is the second years we celebrate the Uzbek language day in our country.
Oh, congratulations.
And therefore, I am very happy that one of our businessmen from Samarkand, as a member of Association of Exporters of Uzbekistan, they want, first of all, be proud to be the part of team of Mukhtar Umar, previously speaker, and also speak on our natural Uzbek mother language. And let me give opportunity. Man, juda xursandman o'zbek tilida bugun India O'zbekiston Business Forumda siz so'zlashganingizga va bitta taklif Muxtorjon Umarovga bor edi. Biza online B2B shu siz aytilgan Samarqanddan eng yaxshi sifatli shu quruq mevalaringizni Indiyaga eksport qilishga fikki orqali biza albatta erishamiz. Sizga ming rahmat. Lekin bizning bugungi sessiyamizda alohida yana ikkita prezentatsiyadan so'ng bizga vaqt ajratiladi O'zbekiston ham Hindiston kompaniyalarini so'zga chiqishga. I kindly ask and propose to this businessman to keep a time after two presentation about the proposals from both sides. But
absolutely.
You give me the time, I want to impress, and my impressions is very high after the Finolex company, which is conclude the Finolex Cable, Finolex Industries, and I am really want to organize the online B2B, and with my representative and one of the FICI to give opportunity to invest and create the business on Finolex. And thank for the director, Mr. Surab, from the Finolex Industries. Thank you very much. I am impressed with movies. As a medical doctor, for me, it is very, very important. Thank you very much. Thank you. I am finished. Rahmat, siz to'g'ri tushundingizmi, businessman O'zbekistonni? Vaqt bo'ladi hozir ikkita prezentatsiyadan keyin. About Larsen and Toubro, the two buildings in our country, one in Samarkand and one in Tashkent, they built by the Larsen and Toubro company but it is more than 20 years ago. Yes, we can continue. Thank you, Mr. Rahit Sharma. That's, you are very flexible to be in as a moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can we have the presentation back?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Rohit, it's presentation scene.
The
Yes.
presentation.
Yes.
We're just uploading it. Yes, yeah.
Are you uploading from there?
No, it's okay. You can continue.
It's okay. You can see.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank you so much, еще раз спасибо большое вам. Да. Сейчас, как я еще раз, сегодня на вебинаре присутствуют наши друзья из Узбекистана и партнеры из Индии. Я рад рассказать о нашей компании Larsen & Toubro. Наша компания основана в 1938 году. LNT представляет собой открытое акционерное общество, которое управляется профессионалами. В прошлом году наш доход составил 21 миллиардов долларов. В наш бизнес-портфель входит оборонная промышленность, электрика и автоматика, строительство крупных объектов гражданской инфраструктуры, энергетика, передача и распределение энергии, тяжелое машиностроение, водные ресурсы и очистные сооружения. Здесь представлены некоторые проекты, которые мы реализовали в Индии. Они включают такие объекты инфраструктуры, как стадионы, аэропорты, электростанции, транспортные коридоры и другие специальные объекты. Это проекты, которые мы реализовали в других странах. В Катаре, да, в Узбекистане, как мы говорили, в Бангладеше и в Малайзии. Сегодня, конечно, я хочу рассказать об оборонной промышленности. У нас 9 заводов в Индии, которые занимаются производством оборонной промышленности. Это производство Талегам, где мы производим комплексы стратегического вооружения. В Коимбатуре здесь мы проводим прецизионную обработку металлов для использования их в авиакосмической сфере. В Вадодере мы производим композитные материалы для авиакосмической отрасли. В Бангалоре мы производим электроника и системы военной связи. Это наша верфь. Здесь мы строим корабли и ремонтируем для индийского флота. Эта верфь находится в Ченнай. В Сурате мы занимаемся специальным производством, необходимым для подводных лодок и кораблей. Это наш второй комплекс в Сурате. Здесь мы производим бронетехнику. Сейчас мы производим самоходные гаубицы 155 мм для индийской армии. Давайте перейдем к портфелю продуктов. Сначала сухопутные системы. Как я говорил сейчас, мы производим самоходные гаубицы 155 мм. Также вы видите нашу систему Пинака. Это 214 мм РС-0. Эта система разрабатывалась правительственной организацией ДРДО, и мы реализовали. Еще один хороший артиллерийский продукт, который мы можем предложить, это не самоходный гаубица 155 мм. Мы также производим пусковые установки для практически всех видов основных ракетных систем в Индии. Мы модернизировали РС-0 БМ-21 для индийской армии. У нас есть готовые решения для модернизации пушки Л-70, Зу-23, модернизации двигателя и системы управления огнем БМП и танк 72. Мы производим разные модульные мостовые системы и инженерно-саппортные системы тоже. Сейчас мы перейдем к военно-морской технике. Мы строим атомные подводные лодки и корабли для Индийского флота. Также мы производим симуляторы тоже. L&T производит различное оборудование для военно-морского флота. Здесь вы видите примеры ракетной и торпедной пусковой установки, которые мы производим. Другое оборудование, которое мы производим для военно-морского флота, включает в себя рулевые машины, стабилизаторы, гидрореакторные двигатели и систему посадки вертолетов на корабль. Мы производим системы управления кораблем и распределения энергии и размагничивания. Давайте сейчас перейдем к военной связь и электроника. L&T производит много информационно-управляющих систем C4ISR и системы военной связи. Мы производим системы это противодействие дронам, здесь вы видите примеры управляющих систем для кораблей и самолетов и уже оборудование, которое мы производим для самолетов. И также производим различные виды радаров. Мы производим беспилотники, автономные подводные роботы и строим различные военные объекты. Как видите, мы занимаемся производством в всех сферах оборонного производства. Мы можем работать вместе в любой сфере. Мы всегда рады работать для вас и работать с вами. Спасибо за ваше внимание. Thank you very much. I forgot to say.
Thank you so much, Avinash. We are sure that L&T means so much and brings so much on the table. There'll be a lot of Uzbek companies will be interested to reach out to you. Once we have the inputs happening from different companies, we will share the data of the companies interested to reach out to a specific company either in India or in Uzbekistan. And we will share the list with our counterparts in Uzbek Chamber then. So thank you so much for your presentation. Now we request Mr. Bahadir Komilov, advisor to the CEO of BMP Trade Group, to share the BMP Trade Group information. Over to you, sir.
Dear colleagues, first of all, on the behalf of BNB Trade Group, for such honor to represent the business community of Uzbekistan on this India-Uzbek business event. I'd like to admit that recently, in cooperation with Embassy of Uzbekistan in India, the members of our company took a part seller meet organized by FICI. In this event, the video conferences with such agricultural companies as Visola India, AgriStar, and SB was held. To BNB Trade Group were sent commercial offers, and to the moment we are having negotiations with all of them. It's a big honor for me to admit the fact that to organizers of the event, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the Republic of Uzbekistan, and also the heads of the diplomatic missions of both sides have created trustworthy atmosphere between the political and business communities of Uzbekistan and India. The investment and consulting company BNB Trade Group was established in 2017. During this period, the company has achieved the goals in the realization of the investment projects, promotion of export, and giving consulting services as well. The company works with government, public, research organizations working in the area of attracting investment to the country as well as promoting export. Switch page, please. I'd like to tell you about BNB Trade Group very briefly. And 2017, the period of establishment of the company. 2018, integration of agriculture industry, beginning of investment cooperation. 2019, development of international trade, export of agriculture production. 2020, the period of new challenges. The company has 4 subsidiaries and 4 joint ventures of the company. And now, possibilities of expansions of the range of investment projects, strengthening of global reputation of Uzbekistan as a reliable business partner. Please. A few words about main activities of the company. The first one, development of international business and commerce relations. The second one, comprehensive support of business and investment projects. The third one, priority of development of export-oriented agricultural, industrial companies and cluster approach. The first, consulting service for efficient implementation of business and investment projects. Some information about our subsidiaries. BNB Agri-Trade was established in 2017 and engaged in the cultivation of agricultural products. BNB Export-Import Global, established in 2019, was a regular export of fruits and vegetables from Uzbekistan and the export-import of other foreign goods. BNB Logistics, established in 2017, the company's activity is aimed at providing services for the storage, delivery, processing of goods and cargo. BNB Shifo, established in 2020, aimed to grow, reprocess and export of saffron and other products. This is the value of joint investment projects of the BNB Trade Group. As you see, it was invested $48 million to the Uzbek-Chinese joint venture. And joint venture of BNB Opera Zafirana, Uzbekistan Italian project. The value of the project is 34.4 euros. And the next one, BNB Energy Logistics. It's Uzbekistan-Russia project. Its value is $52 million. Some information about joint ventures of the company. It's a BNB Opera Zafirana located in Bakhmal district of Jizak region. This Uzbek-Italian joint venture is aimed to implement of planting, growing, and processing saffron. BNB Energy, as I said, the Uzbek-Russian joint venture focused on building and further using of the modern agricultural logistics center located in the Taraf Rashid district of Jizak region Research and Production Center for Development of Tea Production, specialized Uzbek-Chinese joint venture. First is development of tea production in Uzbekistan, and being the golden dream for Delhi. Uzbek-Chinese joint venture located in Zhengshu, Henan, China, focused on importing production from China. Our company has participated in a number of exhibitions and business forums with Indian entrepreneurs. Second. And so we are open to new joint investment and export projects. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kamirov. Since we are literally out of time, so what we are going to do is we'll conclude the session, and then we'll keep the this platform open for any specific discussion that you would like to have amongst both the sides. And then eventually we will be seeking specific requests from Indian companies that which kind of a company they are interested to reach out to, and that list we'll share with our counterparts in Uzbek Chamber. So once again, thank you so much all our distinguished participants today, Ambassador Prabhat, Ambassador Uzbekistan, and all the distinguished speakers, Mr. Ikramov. Thank you so much. I would request just to conclude the session, Ms. Harjinder Kaur, for the concluding remarks from your side, ma'am.
Thank you, Rohit. The session was very, very good, and we didn't want this to end because it was definitely bringing us a lot of business opportunities in today's session. And I'm sure each participant wants this to continue, and we will welcome this. Please send us the requests which you want to send us, and we will be definitely connecting you with the respect as Rohit has told you. So let me quickly conclude this session. We had Mr. Adkam Ikramov setting the tone for this session very, very well, and thank you for that. Mr. Ikramov, we have more become like friends now than the business counterparts. Mr. Manish Prabhat, thank you so much for telling us that potential of our respective countries must be used, and that both the countries are sure of the most favorable conditions in their respective countries. We made a note of this. Mr. Dilshod Akhatov, we are thankful to you for assuring us your cooperation and your all the support that you have assured us today in this session. We will for sure reach out to you for further information on Uzbekistan and that what we want to work there. Mr. Adarsh Swaika, the presentation that you gave, we are thankful to you, and the talk from your end, again assuring us about the trade relationships between two countries, we welcome those. Mr. Mukto Vimaru, Association of Exporters of Uzbek, your presentation has been absorbed by us, and we are sure that many people from India, many traders from India would like to reach out to you. Finolex and Mukul Madha Foundation, we're thankful to you for your support and for your sponsorship. Mr. Vinash Upadhyay, a very engrossing presentation from L&T. We of course know about L&T. It's a giant in India, and I'm sure there's a lot for you to do in Uzbekistan. And of course, Mr. Bahodir Kamilov, you did the last of the presentation, but one of the most powerful and most engrossing presentation, which talked about various associations which are possible with your organization. So with this, I think I thank Rohit, I thank Debasmita for putting in all the effort. Thank you, Fiki. Thank you, Chamber of Commerce for Uzbekistan. Everyone who has spent their time and energy in this business forum to set the tone today. And I'm sure we look forward to many more such sessions, more on B2B specific platforms, where we will probably do it now sector-wise, Rohit, which will make it more focused.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. It was just a good beginning for us, because we have been waiting for this forum to take place. So it's a good beginning. And once this initiative has been up and running now, so it's going to be sectoral focus, so that it's precise discussion that we really intend to have. So the part 2 is going to be this only. So this was, thank you so much, ma'am, Ambassador Dilshod, Ambassador Prabhat. Thank you, Mr. Dr. Swaika, all our dignitaries here. On behalf of Fiki, we once again thank you for joining us. We keep the platform open. Please, you can use the question bar just to put in your queries. We will take note of those queries and channelize them to the respective companies in either in Uzbekistan or in India. What exactly the kind of products, the kind of services, the kind of technological collaboration they're looking at, and then we'll just work it out on that account. So once again, thank you so much, sir, and all the best, and stay safe, stay happy. All the best to you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
we are keeping the platform open. If any company is interested to stay back for a quick discussion that they are looking for something specific, you can have a discussion. All the rest of the dignitaries, they can move out. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ms. Kaur. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Devismita, you can guide them in terms of any specific discussion they want to have.
Yeah, yeah, Rohit, we can have the presentation by Mr. Aziz Khan from the Association of Electrical Association.
Hello. Today, Uz-Eltek Sanaat Association has all the necessary resources for the effective implementation of integrated work in the following areas: production of cable wire products, production of technical equipment, production of electrical appliances and electrotechnical products. The most important element of energy security and vital lines of electrical appliances is cable wire product. They are made copper cables and wires, copper tires, copper tubes, aluminum cables and wires, as well as steel products. All these products meet the demand and supply of the market. The enterprises annually produce more than 10,000 tons of copper tires, more than 5,000 tons of copper tubes, and about 20,000 tons of steel products. Capacity of the furnace is 127,000 tons. Transformers and electric power plants produced by our enterprises regularly serve in residential buildings and industrial facilities, on land, air and sea transport, in oil and gas pipelines, railway lines, in agriculture and hydraulic structures, in thermal, hydro and nuclear power plants. The technical concept of our products fully meet with the standards of the CIS countries, operating rules and the most stringent safety requirements. Power transformers, complete transformer substations, distributional devices kits, electrical safety devices, about 50 types. One of the priorities of the association is the production of household appliances. So the annual amount of manufactured household appliances exceeds 4 million units, and every year this figure is growing. Basic principles of the association are the highest level of quality control of manufactured products. Our partners and customers are the captains that occupy leading positions in their field, for whom the quality is a key concept. The association Uz-Eltek Sanaat actively cooperates with the foreign companies such as Samsung, Haier, Wismar, Shivaki, Listem, Nextron, Motorola, Mailfair, and many others. In the cable wire sector, products worth 1,440 million were produced. In the technical equipment industry, goods worth 925 million were produced. In addition, household goods and electrical products were produced for 1,108 million. These figures are growing every year. All newly created enterprises of the electrical industry, regardless of where they are located, are exempted from paying corporate income tax and property tax until January 1, 2022. as well as enterprises of the electrical industry are exempted from customs payments for imported equipment, materials and components that are not produced in the Republic in the framework of the project's implementation for the manufacture of products for a period up to January 1, 2022 in the implementation of public procurements of electrical and house products, including strategic entities of public procurement, towards to local producers. A price preference of up to 20% is applied. Taking into account emerging trends, we manufacture the product which the customer needs. Quality and reliability are the principles by which we are guided.
Now we invite Mr. Aziz Khan to say a few words on the company.
Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, respected participants. My name is Aziz Khan. I'm a head of foreign relations of Uzbekistan Association. First of all, we would like to express our gratitude for the opportunity given by both Chamber of Commerce. Secondly, it's important to say that Uzbekistan Association congratulates Mr. Manish Prabhat. We are so pleased to hear of your appointment as the ambassador of the Republic of India in Uzbekistan. Please be aware that you have our full support. And as you have seen in our presentation, we are the electrotechnical association that applies the function of an agency responsible for the development of the electrotechnical industry of the Republic of Uzbekistan, and meeting the task set by the government to create new competitive production of electronic devices in every field with the participation of leading foreign manufacturers. In recent years, Uzbekistan has done a lot of work to create favorable conditions for foreign investors and official representatives by providing tax and customs preference, access to data which was undisclosed till recent years, in order to provide different information about certain aspects of the industry. I would like to briefly also explain the direction of our production. We have directed three directions. First is cable and wire productions, and second is household appliances, and the third one is the transformers. And we have more than 86 enterprises in our structure. All of them are the famous companies in not only in Uzbekistan, also Central Asia. We have been exporting to Central Asian countries and other countries, to European and American. And unfortunately, till now, we haven't exported and done any other products to India, but we hope in near future we will be looking forward to work with Indian companies, and we will make a fruitful business with Indian companies. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Azizan. Thank you for your words and the presentation, the video. It was good. Anyone else who would like to present anything or would like to say a few words? Mr. Bolly Boy from Samarkand, someone wanted to do a presentation or awards? Thank you. I think that ends it. We had a very good session. Thank you all for joining.